Mississippi State, a 4-loss team back in the field after beating Auburn and Houston. The first team other than Cincinnati from the American to be ranked.
And I've been looking for Houston to get ranked. They've won 9 straight games. Finally, the committee is giving Houston some respect, and this will matter to Cincinnati as we move forward and a chance to get in the American Conference Championship game if they can get a ranked win against a Houston team.
And Utah almost certainly will have 2 games against Oregon. The first one coming up Saturday. Kirk, I know you're really high on that Ute team as they're up 1 spot to 23.
Yeah, nice to see them up there moving along. And Rece, I know we focus on the top 4, 5, or 6. I just love to see these teams with 3, 4 losses not lose their way. Continue to battle, continue to be rewarded for playing good football. Mississippi State's a great example of that with that big win last week at Auburn.
UTSA, one of the unbeaten teams, only 3 of them left now. The Roadrunners have a tough test against UAB this weekend. They're undefeated. Kicking that one around for Superdog, you never know. And Arkansas, after outlasting LSU, they're going to Tuscaloosa this week, David.
I mean, obviously an opportunity presents itself for Arkansas. They've done a great job. Listen, all 3 losses were pretty competitive losses, except for, well, 2 of the 3 were pretty competitive losses.
Easy.
But Georgia did what they did to everybody, hit them in the face with a frying pan. So it's good to see that. They should have been ranked, I thought a couple weeks ago, but now obviously up their rank.
Well, they've been in and out of the rankings. They were in last week. They're up 4 spots to number 21. Let's continue the rankings. And North Carolina State, after that tough, hard-fought loss against Wake Forest, they slipped to number 20. San Diego State trying to win the Mountain West. They're up 3 spots. Brady Hoke's team with only a single loss. And Pittsburgh also moving up, taking advantage of some of those teams that fell.
Yeah, and how about Texas A&M still staying at 16, still staying inside that top 20 after another loss. And that's a team that has looked great at times. They go get a win against Alabama. They look dominant. And we've also seen them play like a team that just doesn't look very good.
And they're ranked ahead of a team that beat them in terms of head-to-head because Arkansas, took care of them early in the season. And they're, 5 spots ahead of the Razorbacks now. But Texas A&M slips 5 spots after that loss in Oxford.
Iowa's still banging
Saturday
around
night.
Somehow. They're 17, still winning football games. Good game against Minnesota this past week, but 17th in the country. They were 2 not too long ago, remember?
I know they were in there, and Iowa at 8-2, and Wisconsin's in the driver's seat there, Kirk, in the Big Ten West, but the Hawkeyes not out of it if things fall their way.
Yeah, Big Ten West has been wild this year with Iowa, Wisconsin fighting back, Minnesota. Pitt, you talked about there, Rece, sitting there at 8-2, 3 spots up from 21. And the Pitt Panthers have an interesting game against Virginia. We'll see how healthy the Cavaliers are, but that is a big game as far as deciding who ultimately gets to Charlotte and the ACC championship.
Hoping Brennan Armstrong's able to go for Virginia. It won't be completely settled, but the winner of that game almost certainly will go to the ACC championship game. If it's Pittsburgh, they will go to the ACC
If Armstrong plays, take the over. Yeah. There should be a lot of points.
There will be a lot of scoring. But Kenny Pickett, you got to be happy for Kenny Pickett and that Pitt team. They've done a great job this year.
They really have. A couple of disappointing losses, Western Michigan and Miami, the only blemishes on the Pittsburgh resume so far. At number 15, Wisconsin Badgers that we talked about. They lost Ches Malusi, but they fixed the offense a little bit. If they win out, they will go to the Big Ten championship game, and they will be a handful on that side of the ball, Kirk, for whoever they face, whether it's Ohio State, Michigan, or Michigan State.
Yeah, I think sometimes we're all guilty of saying, okay, who's going to survive the gauntlet of Ohio State, Michigan State, and get to Indy and eventually go into the playoff, right? What if Wisconsin's sitting out there and with that defense of Jimmy Leonard, and you got to go take on that team. And their offense has gotten better. They've found an identity on that side of the ball. Paul Chryst has done a heck of a job with a team that was 1-3, back-to-back losses, not looking good against Notre Dame and Michigan. And they got back to just saying, hey, we're going to win with defense and running the football. We're not going to throw it. We're not going to turn it over. And here they are all the way up in the top 15 with a couple games to play. It's good for them.
And they found their next back. Braylon Allen looks like the real deal. True freshman?
Yep.
Son, he looks like a Nebraska running back. 6'2", 240. He looks like the real deal.
Yeah, so Wisconsin trying to finish up strong, get into that Big Ten championship game. Now, this is interesting, Joey. Oklahoma falls 5 spots to 13. I hesitate to bring up history because the committee changes from year to year. But the lowest ranking by a team to eventually make the college football playoff at this point in the season is 9th. So Oklahoma already didn't really impress the committee. They slipped 5 spots.
I think when they started at number 8 in the initial rankings, the committee was saying that they weren't impressed by the way Oklahoma has played. Even though they were undefeated, hadn't played anybody, so they lose a game, they fall to number 5. And I tell you what, if Oklahoma can't find a way to run the football, they're not a very good football team. They got an Iowa State team this weekend that can absolutely
stop the run too.
beat that team. Oh, they're never going to do that.
Yeah. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.